Hello and welcome to Bronze Tacos Overwatch YouTube channel. This is your guy CDT5 and we are having an exit interview of sorts with the co-captains of Red Fox Mafia, Rotarps and Mistakrabs. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good, mate.
Awesome. Okay, so before we get into these questions, I want to give a shout out to all the team members of Red Fox Mafia. That is Rotarps, Mistakrabs, Night Knight, Toxic, Kratos, Buckeye, Wukong Lu, Nino or PR Nino, Killjoy, Venus, and Harley Vaughn. Thank you all for being a part of this memorable Mile Tier season. And thank you to the two of you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Pleasure.
Alright, so Red Fox Mafia has actually been with us for a while with different rosters. Can you give us a picture of how you and your team, your journey, how you got here?
Basically, for the longest time, I didn't really I wanted to play in the league, but at first I knew I was young, and I knew that not very many teams would want to pick up someone like me who just didn't, because I kind of had a hard time getting along with people at first. So what basically ended up happening is I created a team during the beginning of the season, which it went by the Eager Beavers, or as it was then called later on, the Eternal Guardians, which competes in a lot of other leagues. I ended up getting kicked from that team pretty early. I think I didn't even get to play. I sat on the bench actually the first game, and then they kicked me. They were like, well, we can't really have someone like that on our team. And then I created a team that went by Running Away with W, which was during the season 4 was when our team got created, which we couldn't compete in the league. Which later on, after we competed in another season, I actually the big meme was Running Away with L, because we kept losing. So then I decided to change it from Running Away with W to a logo called Red Fox Mafia, which shout out to one of my Instagram followers for giving me the name.
Oh, nice. You know, I know I was with you for a little bit of time, and it was interesting watching you grow as a leader, because that was one of the things that was really notable, and it was notable in the game as well, as you guys take your engagements. And I mean, you guys were extremely competitive from start to finish.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, it was definitely something I was proud of being a part of, even if it was just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, what do the two of you feel was the highlight of your team season? What are you most proud of?
Uh, for me personally, a lot of people have heard me talk about it. I think it was just that reverse sweep right at the beginning of the season, all the controversy that we dealt with at the beginning, just to kind of finally get a win, and then to kind of end up then afterwards, having the season that we had, going 3-0 at the beginning of it. It was just kind of a huge momentum booster, and it made us feel more confident going into the rest of our games during the season.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think I was there for that first game of the season, and that was a gut check. You guys rose to the occasion.
I don't know, Krabs, do you have your favorite moment? I know you've only been here for
I think my favorite moment was probably the first game that I got to play against Effie.
Yeah, Effie Zulu. No bad for them. I really love them.
I thought it was just it was a good match. It was we had fun playing, and I hope that our opponents had fun playing too, because I know for sure that I did. Not
This is your first season competing in the Nerfed League, isn't it, Mistakrabs?
Yes, it is.
What was your impression coming into it?
Oh, I thought it was terrific. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was very welcoming, and I thought it was very just all around a nice time playing.
Awesome. And a little sweaty sometimes, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you guys talked about your highs. What about the low? What was the biggest challenge your team faced this season, and what'd you do to overcome it?
I don't really want. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna like, the primate situation.
Oh
I know
yeah.
a lot of people have heard about the primate situation. If you haven't heard about it, I'm not gonna go into details because
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot. But
And
like it was kind of hurting at the time. You know what I mean?
right.
Because we just came off that loss versus Britney Spears, right? Like we were all very. It was very emotional, I would say. Like, as a team, we all like lost a sense of our identity. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, like Prime was basically one of the players that would play every map, and him and Kazurai kind of leaving. Both of those two. Kazurai told us that she was gonna leave anyways, but it was kind of those two combined. It was like after that we kind of all were like, we kind of lost like who we were, but you know like we kind of bounced back by just like saying like during our game versus Nebula, like even win or lose, like I just want to put on a performance. I don't care like if we go back. We played better than we did last season, so that was kind of a very very big moment for us. Like just to show that we could still play at a high level even without like kind of our big two players.
Oh yeah. And for anybody watching, that whole thing, it's a in-house situation. If you want any more details on it, then you would have to talk to either Rotarps or Mistakrabs or anybody involved. Uh, it's one of those things. If you go in the comments and ask, "Hey, what happened?" Da, 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 you're not gonna get an answer on it. No offense, it's an in-house
You're not
thing.
gonna get an answer unless if you really do want like a sort of answer. Like I'm not gonna go into details.
Right.
That's really the issue, is going into detail on it is really where like a lot of players on RFM really don't like to talk about it.
Right, and that's totally fair. And obviously, like it's a nice chill conversation. It's not airing out any dirty laundry. It's not trying to create any awkward moments. It's just spending some time with the teams that we enjoyed having here and who enjoyed being with us as well.
Yeah.
All right,
But yeah,
next question.
That was definitely the low.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get in your head in a different way. Describe your comms. What's the mood like when you get into game time? Does somebody crack a joke? What do you think in your comms sets you apart as far as a in-game mood?
They're just kind of not really like. I know a lot of teams have like that specific leader. We don't. We kind of all like state our own opinions and we kind of bounce off each other. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of other teams, they don't do that. They have like one shot caller and everyone kind of listens to that person, and then not very many people want to make call outs. I think though with RFM we've kind of decided that everyone should be able to make their own voice heard. So
Okay.
if
I can
in
agree more.
games where like you hear about our comms, they're not really like there's no clear comm. It just kind of sounds like six people trying to argue about who to play, what to do. It really does, but it worked. Like it worked.
Well, I mean, to a degree, after you spend so much time together, you sort of meld six voices into one anyway.
Yeah.
So I can
I don't know,
understand.
Krabs. Yeah.
I can
You
understand
could
that.
understand that.
Did it feel cluttered when when you did your comms, or was it just something that went and worked?
Um, I feel like if I could take this, if that's
Yeah.
alright. I feel like sometimes it could be a bit cluttered, but I think we all had the same kind of idea of what we wanted to get like out there, like Mercy on the right, stuff like that. It was just very how to put it. It was very same-sided, kind of.
Yeah.
If you put it that
Like,
way.
there was there was a couple times where we would argue about something, but like really, like you couldn't really tell that we were arguing about it.
Okay. So more or less, you're like a big family at the dinner table.
There's actually people that like we call grandma, grandpa. We call
Nice.
Killjoy grandpa, and Harley goes by grandma. And some of us are like,
Wait,
some of us
wait.
are other people.
I'm pretty sure
Harley's-
Harley's younger than me.
Yeah,
If you're
but
calling
like
her
she does all she acts super old, and we never knew how old she was until afterwards. We were like, well, now you kind of have been told your grandma now, so it was kind of hilarious.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was kind of hilarious because like everyone kind of blends together, even though like we kind of act like the family.
Hey, and to a degree, that's what coming together as a team is all about. It's like making another small family.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't know if you guys want to talk about this in the frame of Red Fox Mafia or personal, but what are your favorite or top 3 maps?
For RFM,
I,
Entirely
know
up
if
to
you
you
wanna-
how you guys want to
I
approach
know,
that.
I know RFM wise, like if you put us on any hybrid map, you basically are asking the other team what map you want next.
that's true.
That's
I
pretty much
think,
the biggest thing.
Speaking for most of RFM, I would say King's Row is one of our favorites,
Definitely.
and we also really enjoy Blizzard World.
Blizzard World, and then like Havana Rialto, if it's
Yes.
combined. I was like that could be like 1-2, and then 3 is like a tie.
Okay.
I don't know. Some of the maps that like a lot of the team personally like kind of end up becoming the maps that we all like. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Personally, my favorite map is Hollywood. I think that map is a great map, and I do well on that map.
yeah, personally, like a lot of the team, like when we used to all play together, it was always Havana. We would play we like CET members. We would play Havana, and we were like crushing people, and then all of
Right.
a sudden, like we'd go to like another map, and then we'd all just be getting our asses kicked, and I would be
Like
like, what the
Busan
hell?
or something.
We'd head to like a control map,
Yeah.
where we'd just be getting destroyed, and we'd be like, didn't we just win this map? But yeah.
I respect that. Alright, so season's done. You medaled more or less, and I'd love to know, and I'm sure everybody would love to know, what's the goal going into next season?
I think the goal for next season is to kind of pass by this season and like make this season more of a learning curve, right? Because like we're a team, we're some of us aren't really like this is like some of our people's first teams. So obviously, with some of us being on like our first ever team, we're not gonna be the most like understanding of like what's gonna happen. But I personally believe that we improved from last season, you know, going from only having 6 players for a game to now having like 9 or 10 almost.
Yeah, you
show
guys
up
have a
every
deep
time.
roster.
And so now, I think my goal for next season, as I've said, is to kind of, for me personally, is to allow more or less like allow me to like not play all the time, because let's be real. Like I've played too many maps. Oh,
Well, I suppose the only one who would be able to tell that for sure is you. Like, are you feeling like you want to have more of a contributor role instead of a starter role?
I want to contribute more. I think that I love starting. Don't get me wrong. I love starting games, right? But the team even sees like when I'm not playing well, like the whole team doesn't play well. So it might be something for next season to see like what maps do we all like, what game modes should we all play, and then maybe that'll decide like how we play next season.
Okay.
Yeah. My opinion, coming into this new season that's going to be happening, I really hope that we can practice more and just get to know each other a bit more. Just vibe, you know? Just have a good time playing Overwatch, enjoying having clean comms. That's kind of what I hope for RFM.
And also, basically, I really want RFM to just kind of be a team that like BT like has every season and always is like a contender. Because I know like there's been a lot of times where we've seen I'm not gonna pick on teams, but there's been teams in other leagues I've seen who one season are like the best team and they make like this deep playoff run, and then the next season like they just end up like not doing so well. I kind of want to be consistent and not be like I want to always be a team that everyone should watch out for.
Okay.
We proved all season that even though we lose, they're pretty close losses.
Right. This is kind of a follow-up on the last question. So, we know for certain that at some point next year, Overwatch should be transitioning into Overwatch 2. It's going to be a 5-man roster instead of a 6-man roster. You're going to be losing a tank out of it. What are your feelings on it, and how do you think it impacts Red Fox Mafia in particular?
I mean, it'll definitely change kind of how we play. I know a lot of the time with 6v6, like we jump in, we all know like, hey, main tank's going this way, the off tank's gonna follow. It's gonna stick with some other players. It's just gonna kind of be different in a way, but at the same time, RFM's kind of already understanding that like we can deal with it. It's just gonna be a bit weirder. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
That's a hard question. It's a hard question when like, because if this was before like Kaz left, like it would be completely different. I think that's mainly why it's a bit tougher, because like we're still trying to find our starting tank player now. So it'll be weird.
It'll be interesting. I've watched a little gameplay of the 5v5 that the Overwatch team has allowed us to see, and that tank player looks like they are going to be so incredibly crucial.
Yeah, I could agree on that one.
Like basically your tank gets blown up and you more or less lose the map.
Yeah.
From the stuff they've shown. So it's gonna be somebody who's just leaning over the edge of the cliff constantly.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts, Mistakrabs?
I think it's going to be different for sure, but I think for RFM's case, I think we can pull through. Like I think we can make Overwatch 2 work, you know.
I think if the meta is what RFM wants, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Is like if we can understand the game before all the rest of the teams, if we have like, cause like that's mainly what happened this season is like we had a better understanding of what we should play before the other team really did, which was why a lot of our games were pretty shut down and locked and sometimes not even close. Because we had a better idea of what we wanted than they did.
Right on. Alright, so fun question. Say the BTEs or the management shells or the league management said, alright, you're going to have to 1v1 one of your teammates in every single role. Who'd you avoid?
Oh my god. I have to 1v1. So you're saying I have to go 1v1?
You have to 1v1 one of your teammates in all 3 roles. So 1v1 them in tank, damage, and support. Who are you saying?
Who am I avoiding?
Who are you saying? Nuh-uh, not him or her.
Oh my god. Oh. Let me take a look at my roster real quick. Sometimes I even forget my roster. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I completely forgot. Like, what? Oh, yeah, now I know who it is. God, if only if I remember. If Toxic, I think Toxic would be the one.
Toxic?
Toxic, because you gotta understand that he started off as a DPS player, and he kind of then turned into that support and tank player. So like, and he's pretty good at both of those roles. But if I see his Junkrat, I'm running the opposite direction.
His Junkrat's cracked, honestly.
Dude, if he didn't place over 2600, that was the best day of my life when I heard he placed over 2600. I was like, yes, we don't get to see Toxic play the games anymore. Every game we played with him, he gets play of the game, and we were like, and even in that league game, he got play of the game. We were like, well,
shit.
this is gonna end well.
Is that the same answer for you, Mistakrabs?
What was the question? Sorry, I got disconnected for inactivity.
Ah, no worries. If you were forced to 1v1 one of your teammates in all 3 roles, who would you avoid?
Oh, I'd avoid Nino, for sure. Nino.
Avoid Nino?
Nino would also,
he's
yeah.
way too aggressive on Lucio. He's amazing at Lucio. I wouldn't stand a chance.
If it's best 2 out of 3, though, I think you would whip him on DPS and support tech and tank.
Yeah, but I'm really bad at tank. Like, all I could do is beat him on DPS, pretty much.
Yeah, well, you better.
And
yeah, but
even if he picks a Tracer, I'm pretty much screwed.
Yeah, if he picks Tracer, you're just basically like, I don't know, but Toxic and Nino have been very nice playing support now. It's kind of funny how like 2 people we want to avoid are 2 support players. Go figure.
That is ironic. That is actually ironic.
It's not fun.
Your 2 teammates that you're like, nah, I'm not doing that, are your support players. That is fascinating.
Yeah, well, we suck at support. That's why.
That's why we're not support.
That's why they're playing support, not us.
All right. Is there anything you want to tell us just about your team, your season, personal comment, basically exit statement? Got anything else?
Well, if you haven't seen the league, RFM has we have now 3 teams, which spell out RFM. That will also be Red Fox Mafia being the R, being in the mild tier next season. F is for Fury, which will be our Verde tier team, and M will be for Mobsters, which will be our Fire tier team. So,
rock on.
The big goal of this org now is to mainly build up a lot of our kind of have like a ladder system now, so that way if you do place over now, you're not just like stuck on other roles. You can now play your main role still.
All right,
which I think is very nice.
So it's safe to say that you guys are going to be looking to deepen your roster significantly, because right now you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and even if we were to drop into the 5v5, that's still 2 teams. So you guys are going to
Yeah.
be having company.
Yeah. I think
For
though
real.
the other big thing about this season was a lot of us. I think a lot of us were more. I think it was a bit more of like a desperation to still be a team that can compete in BT, because I know a lot of people at first when we were scrimming teams, right? We were always known as the scrim team, right? We were the team that competed well in scrims but just couldn't play in the league, right? So I think coming into this season, it almost felt like the exact opposite. Like our scrims weren't as good as our league games.
Huh.
It was kind of weird because like we kind of cashed in most of our scrim bucks and then we couldn't get any more. But I do want to like thank any player who played for RFM. I know a lot of them are now on other teams, and I do want to like let everyone know that like I do appreciate them, even if like me and them butt heads. You know what I mean? Like even if we didn't get along,
Right.
I do want to say like you guys are still like you're still like personally like a big friend to me. So like I don't know. It's kind of hard because like it's always sad when like you lose players because you want to have the best team, but like I think that the moves that I made are more for the future than anything.
That makes sense.
I don't know, Mr. Krabs, if you have anything, then if I have one last thing, I'll probably think about while you talk.
Alright, well, I just feel like RFM has been through quite a bit this season, and I feel like we got through it just fine. And I hope that next season we will be even stronger than this season. And I hope that we will also put in the practice for it too.
I think
Yeah.
we're all looking forward to seeing just how high you guys could get.
I think that even though like all 3 seasons that like RFM has competed, we've gotten 4th place, which isn't bad in any means necessary. That's playoffs in most leagues, right? Like
Right.
4th place is pretty good, and in this season it was like the halfway point team, right? So like we're kind of the gatekeeper. We kind of want to not have the gatekeeper status. We want to be up. We want to go higher than and set better expectations for ourselves. And I think that with the 11-man roster we now have, I think we could this season that's coming up in January or whenever. I don't know when it's coming up. It's coming up in sometime in January. Hopefully it allows RFM players the time to kind of regroup, like kind of focus up and kind of let this season kind of pass by, I guess, because that's mainly the reason the end wasn't as good, because we let stuff happen. But I think now that we have this season gone and over our head, I think that next season RFM will hopefully, fingers crossed, we still play the same way RFM does, and we just get better as a team.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is going to be it for our exit interview with Red Fox Mafia, with Rotarps and Mistakrabs. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this. It's been a ton of fun, and can't wait to see you guys duking it out again soon.
Thank you.
Pleasure is ours.
Alright. And if you have not yet subscribed to Bronze Tacos Overwatch, please do so. It helps us out a lot. Lets us know we're doing a good job. If you have any comments, please leave them. If you like what you're hearing and what you're seeing, throw a like to the video, share it with a friend. It means the world to us. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.